what I wanted to talk to you about today is something that's really like top of mind for me.
We're getting right into it. I like it. Not even like, hey, how are you?
No,
like, how are the, okay.
No pleasantries, no platitudes.
I like it. Go.
I'm interested in something. And it is rare that I get this caught up, wrapped up, intrigued in something that seems so out of reach.
Aren't you married? No,
I am.
Not that. Oh,
it's not
a
that.
chick.
I sleep in separate rooms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It is not a woman, and it has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with luxury items.
What is it?
Right? Everybody wants to know, the two people watching us. But hi, Mom.
It's not your wife anymore. She divorced you.
Definitely not. I am obsessed with these self-help, motivational, entrepreneurial leadership conferences. I'm not sure what to call it.
They call it masterminds. They call it something else too.
Okay. Well, let's roll with that.
Yeah.
Let's call it a mastermind.
Well, there are so many of them, though now.
I never
feel
knew
like
about these things.
Oh, maybe you're just not a loser like the guys like me and you.
No.
Or like me and Lev, I should say.
Shout out to Lev.
Lev, I guess we're losers because we know what Aspire was.
Aspire, yeah. So that's one.
Yep.
Driven is another one.
That's another one.
So let me build some context. So when I was a young kid and I went to, UCSD in San Diego, I worked at a building, and I don't know how many floors it was, but every day without fail, I'd be on the elevator with a giant. You know where I'm going with this.
Nope.
No clue?
Nope.
And he would talk like this, and his voice would boom.
I know the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he looked like a character out of a James Bond movie, like a bad guy. And of course, the person I'm talking about is
Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins. That's
so
right.
Wait, rewind. You were where?
I worked at the same office building as he did.
Oh, okay.
While I was in college,
Okay.
my sister got me a job working for TD Ameritrade.
Oh, nice.
And it was in the leadership and development department, but really, I just got people lunch.
Yeah.
But it was a sweet gig.
Yeah. Well, you got to run into Tony Robbins every day.
Every day. And he was a giant, or he is a giant.
Yeah. Banana hands is what they called him.
Okay, interesting.
In that one movie, Shallow Hal. Never mind.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, it was good.
You're dating yourself, though.
For sure.
Who's your favorite rapper? Sir Mix-a-Lot? Shout out to Dean Lilkin, who talks about Sir Mix-a-Lot when he's trying to interview candidates who've just graduated from university. But
that's not good.
The reason why I bring it up is because Tony Robbins was the only person I knew in that motivational speaker sector, right? He was a writer, he was a speaker, and I really never, sort of in my youth, I never delved into what it was all about.
Mm-hmm.
I never needed motivation. I never needed, or I thought maybe, right, that I didn't need it. And now 20 years, fast forward 20 years into the future, having owned Cardiff for 2 decades, it really is starting to appeal to me. And I don't know if that's because I'm middle-aged and I'm looking for a second wind, but you and I share a friend, Albert Preciado, and Albert has a once-a-year event called Driven. You're familiar?
Yep.
Yeah. And it's amazing. He brings on the biggest, the best, the brightest, the most influential thought leaders in that motivational
space.
Yeah.
But one year he had Kobe Bryant or something.
Interesting.
He had some big guys.
He's on his 8th year for putting this event on.
Yeah, it's
crazy. Not a joke.
No, it's
right.
Not.
These are $1 million events with $1 million names, and I want to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I want us to be a part of it because I think for the last 20 years I've had a tendency to gatekeep what I know, and that's kind of led me to start this podcast with you. A Stern Talk, and in that podcast, we're interviewing small business owners that have scaled and built large brands, right? Still privately held, tightly held corporations, not public, but I think those stories are the inspiration for many people who are either on the ledge, as an employee, looking to make the jump into small business ownership, but are consumed or overwhelmed with self-doubt. And so maybe through the anecdotes and stories from these small business owners on a Stern Talk, they're able to kind of see that, hey, I'm not alone. These are some of the obstacles that I do face as a business owner. And if I'm not a business owner and I'm still an employee that wants to make that leap, these are the obstacles that you are going to have to overcome, right?
Yeah.
And so it's sort of learning ahead of time, right?
So you think you can do that on stage? Is that what you're saying? Or you're
Yeah, that's what I think I'm saying. I'm saying that
that's how you want to be involved. Or what was your exact phrase? You want to be involved, right? With some sort of driven, aspire, something like that.
Yeah. Or we create our own, but I think there's value. I don't want to gatekeep what I know.
Mm-hmm.
It does no good for me, right? Like, I have young children. Am I going to talk to them about hiring and firing and marketing and social media, digital marketing versus direct mail and junk mail, and where to buy leads and where to buy mailing lists? Like,
I do. I think you got to start.
Yeah.
I think it's good practice, at least.
Maybe. Yeah.
I took mine out of school today. They came with me.
To the projects?
Yeah. And they learned, and we had a little scavenger hunt and did some math. Like,
did you really?
I think you have to.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, what are they going to do at school?
Well, listen, I think, there's value in what you're talking about. And I definitely.
But you want to do it on a larger, grander, driven scale.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And I think Albert's got a great brand.
I could see you spit some game for like 15 minutes.
5.
Nah. You got 15 minutes.
7 minutes of content.
That's all you need, 7 to 15, really. And then once you get going, you get going. But I could see you on there.
It's funny. I'm excited to do it. I'm not nervous. I'm excited.
Really?
Oh, I'm excited. And I think it's funny because I wonder how it's going to feel to actually complete it and do it. Every time that you and I host the Stern Talk podcast, after we finish, I feel sick. I feel ill. You notice.
Yeah.
We went up to Preciado's a couple weeks ago, and then he's like, yeah, come have dinner. And we went, where did we go to dinner?
Javier's.
That's right, Javier's. Yes. Yeah, in Century City.
I don't know why you say this like this.
I don't know why you're talking like
it just came out.
Yeah. But I was sick the whole dinner.
Yeah.
Right? I took off for like 15 minutes to go to... you
went to like the store.
I went to Gelson's in the mall, right, to find some Advil. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm excited to do it, but I feel like once the momentum and once the energy, the adrenaline, right, has kind of run its course, then I'm like, collapse.
Yeah. Now, when you set up these events, I guess I've never set one up of this kind of scale.
Yeah.
50 people max, maybe.
Okay.
What are you looking to accomplish? I mean, I know like Aspire and Driven they're motivational seminars, but it doesn't sound like you're offering motivation. You're offering concrete, fundamental thing, which is great. I like that. I like that better than motivation.
I think this is in the ideation phase, right? But I think right now considering the interest rate environment that we're in, right? It's not accommodative, right? It's not low interest rates. And small business owners lack access to capital, affordable access to capital. That's one segment that I'd like to usher into this type of platform and get them as an audience. But I think the other segment that I'm interested in speaking to is the real estate, the real estate segment. I think people in that space are sitting on their hands, and I don't know if you pay attention much to social media. I know you post, but posting and aimlessly scrolling, as you know, are two different things. But I see them posting, and it's like, I mean, it's so bad out there for real estate agents.
I think it's bad for everyone. I mean, you name an industry that has decent social media.
Oh, yeah.
It's bad. Like, no one knows what they're... But specifically real estate, it's probably worse.
Yeah. We talked about this early on, where real estate agents are like holding a for sale sign.
It looks like...
Yeah, it looks like they sold the children. Yeah. They're standing in front of a house with the family with the sold sign.
And no one...
puts the pieces together. It's terrible.
Yeah,
it's honestly terrible. Yeah. You were the one who pointed out. But the real estate posts, they don't know what they're doing. Hi, welcome to 15783, blue collar lane or whatever.
Open the door.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's like, look at the vaulted ceilings. And it's like, who wants to see that? So in any event,
And that's why no one watches it.
yeah, they get
So-
like 20 impressions.
But maybe they don't know the impressions. And that's not to pivot, but that's what I want to see out of you on stage. I want you to, because you're like a digital marketing king, maybe? Safe to say?
I'm a scion of digital marketing.
And I'd like to see you explain that to real estate agents and whatever industries that we go after. But those details are what kind of set you apart from the next real estate agent. If you know what impressions are, and hey, this video didn't work, and you could, but I want to see that from a.
Could you imagine a
Scion.
huge LED board behind me, and
it.
we show that image, and we're like, "Here's you, the real estate agent, with the family and the 3 kids and the dog, standing in front of the house with the sold sign. You look like." And we
Child traffickers.
Yeah, you're child traffickers.
That's what you look.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I would like to see that on any board from like, even if we did like a webinar, that would, I think, be amazing to come from you because like you said, you're good at this, right?
I want to line them all up.
Yeah.
And we just walk down the line and we just grab them by their shoulders. We cup their shoulders and we go, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
What are you thinking? Furthermore, if you're reposting the same type of content day in and day out, and they're also sporadic with their posting.
Yeah.
So there's no rhyme or reason, there's no consistency, and there's no introspection with the type of content they post.
Yeah.
Zero. They look in the mirror and they see, I don't know what they see. They see a successful image looking back at them. And then they go to their bank account, right? And it's 4 digits.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? Where's the disconnect? And I think the disconnect comes from doing something over and over again, right? Having it not be successful and then expecting the same result. And I don't mean to be trite, and sort of like, rephrasing, the definition of insanity, which everyone knows. But it's like at a certain point in time, there needs to be a come to Jesus moment where you're like, okay, this isn't working. I'm going to pivot. And so, we're talking about audiences for these types of events. I think, getting these real estate people to show up, there's so many things you can talk to them about. I'm not even in real estate. You and I talk about this every day when we drive to your projects. We check in on the investments and we talk about or you're getting messaged from people like wholesalers, right?
Oh yeah.
Right. Take a look at this house. Check out this one. Check out this 4-plex. Check out this multi-unit. What do you think of this house? I can get it for $8. Will you buy it for $850? These off-market opportunities. Am I incorrect in my thinking, or are there tremendous opportunities out there, but you have to have the wherewithal to make a decision that I'm going to stay in real estate, but I'm not going to wait for interest rates to dictate now's the time to be a buyer's agent. Now this time to be a seller's agent. Instead, I'm going to create my own opportunities.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're not crazy. But I noticed the glasses came off, so that was like
I got serious.
Yeah, you got really stern.
Yeah.
Cool.
A stern tone.
I was like, oh shit, what's happening?
Yeah, somebody's getting yelled at.
Yeah, you went
Dad's in a bad mood.
down that lane. But agents are dumb. I mean, everyone in real estate, name the best marketing agent. Ryan Serhant, maybe. Nationwide. There's probably a couple smaller ones.
That's the guy in New York?
Yeah.
I love that guy.
He's good.
He goes, I never pay for leads. And then it's a paid ad.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
Yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah.
I have an ad where it goes, I make content, not for the likes, the reposts, the engagement, the shares, the messages. I make posts that I like.
Mm-hmm.
And then I let the algorithm inform me if I want to make more of that content.
Yeah.
And so every message on that post is like, you're literally making that post for the engagement.
Yeah.
And I'm like, gotcha.
Yeah. I win.
Gotcha.
I win again.
Yeah. You clicked, you put a message, right? You put a comment.
But you look at those numbers, that data set, right?
Yeah.
And that tells you what works.
What works.
And what you should keep doing. But these agents don't look at anything. It's almost embarrassing. But in an event like that where it's Albert, it's you, it's this two other guys I got that we could really blow this thing up just from celeb status, right?
I think we start small. Book
never
an audience
small.
of,
I hate starting small. That's like so unattractive to me.
200 people.
That's good. Yeah.
200 people.
50 doesn't turn me on.
I won't show up for 50.
Yeah. It'll actually make me more not embarrassed, but like nervous. Like, because 50 are going to sell, 20% aren't going to show up. You're down to 32, whatever that is. It's just not.
I'm not interested. The economics for me would never appeal to me.
I'm not even worried about economics. I just know that this thing will make money if it's done correctly. And if you,
I think it sells well. So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
We get a real estate person.
We got Albert. This is separate.
I think, Albert, myself, you, we've talked about sort of like the demographics of who we want in the audience. It's one day, but my idea is to do a second day, because I think stretching the day out too long is sort of unfair to everyone, speakers and audience and their families included. But a second day, and the second day is for people who want to pay more. We do a breakout into smaller groups, kind of like a Vistage would do or a YPO. And we have thought leaders, right? People in their respective spaces that are that have achieved something, a status, some level of success, and they meet and then rotate through those groups with a definitive curriculum to share.
Yep.
Answer questions, have a luncheon, maybe a cocktail hour after, maybe even, I don't know if you're open to this, but maybe even a golf event. I think we could throw.
Do you play golf?
Do I play golf?
Golf events are fun, but they're too
golf.
Long.
Yeah. Okay.
You'll get guys out there.
Yeah.
But it'll be guys. It won't be girls. I mean, real estate's about 50-50.
I want
male, female.
I do not want
golf
to.
would be cool where your best friend, what's his name? Ryan Pineda did stuff like that where he would say, hey,
watch my shot.
But he would charge people to golf with him.
Yeah, I don't get that. That's okay. Listen, he's got his own strategy. I don't have a strategy. Yeah. He's got wealth con. We've got nothing con.
That's true.
So I'm not interested in making fun of any
con. We're just con.
Yeah, we're just con artists.
Right now. No, wait, I didn't say that.
Well, I just people have said meaner things in the comments of my posts. Like I literally sell nothing on my Instagram. Zero.
You sound like Alex Hormozy. I sell nothing but go buy my book.
I sell nothing. My book is free. How about that?
No,
but they're like,
something.
You're a scam artist.
No,
listen,
you're not trying to scam people online. I
not yet. I have no interest. Yeah, I have no interest. I think again, if there's some value that I can impart to an audience, if they're willing to pay for that, perfect, right? Because time is something.
Oh gosh,
you can give and never get back. I say it too often.
Someone else stole that. It was I saw it on a
Preciado?
post. No, you said it. You must have said it around because it was someone we recently.
Oh, interesting. I saw Preciado say something. It was like a derivative of that.
No, someone else.
My point to him was he has a realty company, an escrow company, and a mortgage company. But then he has Driven. Mm-hmm. And in my opinion, you have a chessboard.
Yep.
Escrow, realty, and mortgage, pawns, rooks, knights, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. Driven is the king.
Yep.
Right?
It should be the king.
It should be.
But for him, it's not.
Yeah. So we got to make it.
Yeah.
We got to make that. And I think him and I are having these ongoing discussions, obviously, about how we can expand that from a once in a year event, right, to he said 12, I said 13. I said, do you know why I say 13? He goes, Puerto Rico. It's like, yeah, it should be in 12 different cities that have a large Latino population, right? Houston, Dallas, LA, Orange County, San Diego, Orlando, Miami, Chicago. I'm running out of cities to name.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I lost track.
But also, right, Puerto Rico. Because I think it could be huge. You have a huge, obviously Latino population in Puerto Rico, but more importantly, you have like a huge emerging young professional sort of base to market to that are interested in real estate. Yep. And obviously you have tremendous real estate in Puerto Rico. I love Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is similar to Waikiki in that the last boom in real estate took place in the 60s and 70s. And so it's wide open for redevelopment. It's so wide open. I think that's a huge market.
I don't like Puerto Rico because of the population. I mean, in terms of what we're trying to do, you're not going to get 1,000 people out there. You might get 100.
I think you'll be surprised. Well, you're going
to have to because
very young population.
I don't think there's a big Hispanic real estate population there.
Let's find out. I don't know.
We're going to have to, yeah.
I don't know.
But I think it'll work, and I think not just the Hispanic community, the real estate community in general.
Yeah.
I think there's no one doing what Albert's doing in real estate with the mortgages, with the real estate. He can get everyone nationwide.
There were 2 guys we just met at Dan Fleischman's ranch. That was this week.
Oh, yeah.
Spectacular. And the other guy's name was Marcus. I forget his last name. What was his Instagram?
Barney? Mr. 500 or something.
Mr. 500.
Yeah.
He's in Atlanta. I think.
ATL Shorty.
Yeah. Now you're dating yourself too to win.
They still say that, don't they?
Jermaine Dupri.
Oh, is that what it was?
Welcome to Atlanta.
Oh, man.
Well, remix. But I think.
You sure you're white?
I think, you know, if I remember correctly, Spectacular is like in the IE, Inland Empire. But a huge following. 1.5 million followers on Instagram. I think the other gentleman that we met, Marcus, had like 600, 700, somewhere around there. But I think like the Latino population, the Black population, these guys are so dialed in to building wealth. And I think they're all, right, looking for the blueprints for success.
Yeah.
And then when the thought leaders, right, in their, when the thought leaders market to them, they then take that content and communicate it to their communities and just build more thought leaders from there. And I think it's so interesting because it's like, you know, you got Cody Sanchez and Brad Lee and Grant Cardone and all these guys, but like you have these other communities, right, throughout America, whatever, right, race, religions, doesn't matter what the population is, but like, it's like, how do you market to everyone? Because the message, right, can be communicated to everyone and can be understood by everyone. So it's like, how do we open this up? How do we blow this up?
Yeah, and I think Albert's a good stepping stone for that, right? He's already got the brand. He's got it going. Hispanic community's there. Yeah. We had one guy from San Diego, another guy who's pretty popular in San Diego, another guy in Atlanta or whatever, and you got yourself a tour. And it's got to be the same people, I think, just like the comedians do. The comedians have the tours down, right?
Kings of Comedy.
Yeah, now you're dating yourself.
Yeah, now I'm dating myself.
But they go on tour with the same. Yeah. What are those?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
You see
I got to coach baseball.
Okay.
I got to coach baseball.
Coach baseball?
I don't know.
Oh man, play ball.
We'll end it there, but I think we need to talk more about this. I think what we need to do is we need to go up to LA.
Okay, I'm not going up to LA.
No, let's meet Albert again.
I was exhausted. Lev, were you exhausted that day? No. Yeah.
This guy didn't even drive.
None of us did, or I didn't.
To the podcast, I literally drove you guys.
That was your job to drive us
He's
there.
putting a lot of faith in Tesla's autopilot.
Yeah.
You almost killed us twice.
Yeah. I drove for like 10 minutes.
I appreciate that.
You almost killed us 3 times.
4.
Ding, ding.
LA's tough to drive in.
Yeah, it is tough.
Especially in that weird steering wheel that you got.
Oh, yeah, the yoke.
But I'm not going to LA. We do a Zoom, bro. Okay. Let's do a Zoom.
Okay.
I got the party planner. I got a couple headliners for you.
I've done a bar mitzvah before. We can get my mom.
I got the location.
She gets
here
the
in
DJ.
San Diego. Starter location.
Nice. Well, to be continued.
And I'm just waiting on you.
Yeah.
It seems like I always have to push you in the right direction. You're over here.
You're the motivational
going
speaker.
On YouTube and searching how-tos. And
you can learn anything.
You can't except doing.
Okay. Yeah, you got to do it. Well, I think we're going to do it. So stay tuned because if you are interested in attending this Driven event, I think we're going to call it Driven. It's coming soon to San Diego.
Driven San Diego, Driven LA.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you next time.
All right, later.
Adios.